is body modification? Body modification is the altering either permanently or semi-permanently of the physical body through means of injecting ink, cutting or altering the skin, piercing with needles, or augmenting the body to change its appearance. I personally have two different types of body modifications. I first started modifying my body whenever I was 15. Today I will be talking about three main points: the history of body modification, certain types of body modification, and the different reasons people are involved in body modification. Now that you have an idea of what we will be talking about, let's look at the history of body modification. Different cultures all around the world have practiced body modification for centuries. According to a book about body modifications called Spiritual Tattoo, women and men alike participate in the ancient practice of modifying their body in some way. The Harrison Poll, a company that gathers statistics and information, concluded that women are more likely than men to modify their body, women being the 59% and men being the other 41%. The oldest documented tattoo dates back to 30,000 before current era. The oldest remains of a mummy, which was 5,000 years old, had his ears pierced. And the scarification of human skin dates back 200,000 years ago. The Maori culture of New Zealand, the Native Americans, and various groups throughout Africa, Egypt, Japan, and other countries in the world, tattoos and body modifications are considered works of art. Since you know some of the history about body modifications, let's talk about a few different types. There are hundreds of ways to modify a person's body. These modifications can either be semi-permanent, which allows for the reversing of the body modification, or permanent, which means that it will be there for life. One semi-permanent body modification is body piercing. BME, a body modification community consisting of body modification experts, defines a piercing as a form of body modification involving a piercing of the human body or for the purpose of wearing jewelry in the opening created. The word piercing refers to the act of or to a specific pierced opening in the body. Piercings are usually done with a large needle, but piercing guns and scalpels can also be used. A more permanent type of body modification is tattooing. MedTerms, a medical dictionary, defines tattooing as a process by which pigment is permanently implanted under the skin by means of piercing the epidermis and depositing ink into the dermis, which means that the middle layer of skin will contain ink, which is protected by the upper layer of skin when it is fully healed. Statistics Brain concluded that Americans spend an average of $1.65 billion on tattoos annually. That's $137,500,000 a month on tattoos, which means $34,375,000 is spent weekly on tattoos, and $4,910,714.29 is spent daily on tattoos. That equals up to $204,613 an hour and $3,410.22 per minute, which breaks down to an average of $56.84 a second being spent on tattoos by Americans. Tattopia, an information website dedicated to all things tattoo, conducted a survey that showed the percentage of people with or without tattoos. People with 0 tattoos was at 24%. People with 1 tattoo was right under the people with 0 at 22%. People with 2 tattoos was at 18%. And 3 tattoos was also 18%. People with 4 tattoos was at 11%, and people with 5 or more tattoos was at 7%. Tattoos can also be put anywhere on a person's body. There are many ways to apply a tattoo. According to the Joker Tattoo blog, a website dedicated to information and news about tattooing industry, Americans American Indian tribes apply tattoos by simple pricking. Some Arctic and subarctic cultures rub color into scratches they created in their skin, and the color was made out of ashes. The Maoris of New Zealand use the same technique and tools they use to carve wood. Now an easier and more sterile technique is used, which contains needles attached to a gun that is run electrically. Another more extreme and permanent type of body modification is scarification. BME considers scarification the creative and artistic application of scars in a controlled manner to achieve a certain design on the skin. Scarification has a three-dimensional aspect which makes it different than tattooing. Scarification is made with a scalpel or a type of knife that causes incisions in the skin. Branding is a type of scarification achieved through the application of a heated material to the skin, making a serious burn which eventually becomes a scar. Scarification is an alternate to tattooing for people with darker skin tones that tattoos do not show up on very well. Now that you understand a few types of body modification, let's move to why people are involved in this practice. People have many reasons for modifying their body in generally painful ways. A different reason for different types of body modification, and it varies on the individual. Religion, self-expression, spirituality, sacrificial reasons, rites of passage, cultural requirements, social status, corporal punishment, and cosmetic reasons are just a few examples of why people choose to alter their appearance and modify their bodies. Since you now know the reasoning behind modification, use your own personal reason to modify your body or to keep it the same. Cultures all over the world have practiced body modification for ages and continue to do so till this day. There are hundreds of types of ways to modify a person's body, with even more reasons why people are modifying their body. Your body is the temple that you live in. You can decorate it any way you choose, so choose wisely.